Hey guys, welcome into Schlereth Slants. A couple of things about the NFL, things going around this weekend as we get ready for the playoffs. I'll start in my own backyard, the Denver Broncos. So the Denver Broncos decide to fire head coach Nathaniel Hackett. And there's a couple of things that I think about with this firing. Obviously, the Broncos have been a bitter disappointment. Russell Wilson has been an abject disaster. This season has gone off the rails, sitting at 4-11 right now. None of the things that we thought were going to happen have happened. Okay, that said, I understand the firing. You've got to get rid of the guy. Somebody's got to be the scapegoat. Somebody's got to be the fall guy. And it's Nathaniel Hackett, and he's a big boy, and he got paid to be a head coach, and it didn't work out, and that's the way it goes. But was he ever put in a position to actually succeed? And the answer to that is no. One thing about the structure of the National Football League and the way you go about handling your business and the way you go about putting an NFL team together is you have got to have a hierarchy. And it is one thing to hire a coach. It's a completely different thing to empower a coach. And I believe that Nathaniel Hackett came into Denver without true power. He came in here and said, hey, by the way, you're going to coach this team, but you're going to have to acquiesce to this quarterback. You're going to have to acquiesce to his needs. You're going to have to acquiesce to his team. I mean, what other franchise do you know where they have an outside quarterback coach that the quarterback brings in and can come to practice to evaluate his quarterback client? Like, come on. You want to talk about a conflict of interest. And once you hire a coach and you don't empower that coach is automatically emasculated. Nobody listens to him. Nobody truly believes he's got power. One thing you have to have in the National Football League, your head coach better have fear. And there's two types of fear. There's the biblical sense, which is awesome reverence, like the fear of the Lord. And then there's fear like, my guy's going to cut me, or my guy's going to take a recess away. And I don't think Nathaniel Hackett ever had that fear within this organization. So he was doomed to failure to the start. They're going to have to fix that about the organization, or the next coach will be doomed to the same failure. Let's talk about Derek Carr really quick. Derek Carr not only gets benched, but he's going to be inactive this week. Jarrett Stidham takes over as the starting quarterback of the Vegas Raiders. And like, what does that mean? Well, I mean, obviously it's the end of the career of Derek Carr as a Raider. I mean, he is done now. And I remember now, Josh McDaniels has had this in his past history. He came to Denver and instantly booted out a first-round draft choice who had tons of talent in Jay Cutler, shipped him to Chicago because he wanted to sign at the time the backup quarterback in New England. And so, long story short, that didn't work either. And so then he ended up getting Kyle Orton, and they drafted Tim Tebow, and the rest is history. So there is this almost John Gruden-esque, I don't like my quarterback. Every quarterback I like is a backup somewhere else quality to Josh McDaniels. So it looks like the end of the road for Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr is an undervalued and underrated quarterback. So it'll be interesting to see where he ends up going as his career continues. I called the Vikings-Giants game last week, and I get a lot of questions about the Minnesota Vikings. Are they for real? Do they have what it takes to win in this league? And I'll just tell you this. I know they haven't put four quarters together, and they really want to get that done, but they haven't been able to do that. And, that's part of the growth process, I guess. But here's the thing I love about Minnesota. When it's crunch time, when there's a critical moment, they seem to find a way to make a play. Last week, they block a punt. Then on a 3rd down and 10, where they're getting pressure, they get a double team against Justin Jefferson. Bam, he splits the double team. Boom, touchdown. They need a 61-yard field goal at the end of the game. Their kicker comes in and blows it through the upright. So in critical moments, they make their best critical plays. And that's what I love about the Minnesota Vikings. I also love this. Justin Jefferson is not only the best receiver in the National Football League, but he's also one of the great guys in the National Football League. And he was so kind as to teach an old, grumpy, fish belly white dude from Alaska how to do the griddy.
It's very simple. Okay. Very simple. Look, all it is heel to heel to heel to heel, heel to heel.
Well, you gotta do your arms too?
Or you just going back and forth.
Okay.
Swing your arms back and forth.
And you just go faster. Yeah, and he 30 minutes. I told y'all. Well, what about team is good?
And then you gotta go, huh? Oh, just kidding.
Oh, man.
Dude, how much fun is that guy? Seriously, I mean, how much fun is Justin Jefferson. The guy is absolutely amazing, and he's an amazing talent. There's no question about that. All right, as we press forward, I get the chance to call the game between the Cleveland Browns and the Washington Commanders. And the Washington Commanders have decided to go away from the spark plug, the guy that brings energy, Taylor Heinicke, back to Carson Wentz. And, the Taylor tape is pretty interesting, and I understand why they're doing it. Because Heinicke's kind of pressed against that glass ceiling. And this, you've got to remember, you've got to kind of give this delineating line. After Carson Wentz broke his finger and was done, a couple different things happened. They got Ryan Robinson back, and their running game started to take off because he's got this physical nature to him. And it really helped Antonio Gibson as well to kind of go, oh gosh, if I'm going to play and I'm going to share time with this guy, I got to start running like that guy runs. And so there's been this metamorphosis of their offense to where it's become a strictly running game, where it wasn't that way with Carson Wentz. And you look at the tail of the tape, Carson's 6'5", Heinicke's 6 foot nothing. Heinicke probably has better pocket presence, but Wentz has a bigger arm, more arm strength, ability to push the ball down the field a little bit better. I just think you look at it and you say, man, the ceiling for us potentially getting to the playoffs is better with Carson Wentz, especially now that we're running the ball like we weren't in the beginning of the season when he was there. So I would just think that makes the most sense to me, and we'll see if they can push through this and get themselves a win. All right, that's pretty much does it. It's a wrap for me. Appreciate you guys kind of tuning in, and we'll look forward to doing this in the future as well. You can check me out. Like I said, the game I have is Washington Commanders and the Cleveland Browns this Sunday in Washington. And by the way, they're honoring the Hogs. So I'm going to get to be a part of that history with the Hogs and try to make my way down to the field at halftime to kind of give a wave to the crowd and do that. So anyhow, enjoy, guys. Enjoy the weekend of football that's before you, and we'll look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out our other videos, and don't forget to smack that subscribe button down below while you're at it. Also, for more great and original content, head right over to bvmsports.com.